For many, many years, when I was growing up, I would only get sick at the May or at the month of May. May was usually the only month that I would get sick at. I don't know, it was just a very strange thing that used to happen. But in my calculations would say it's because back in SA, May would be, a really cold month. Or it would start getting cold or it was windy. But anyway, it was the only month that I would get sick. But also, when I transitioned and started living in China, I think my system or my body system just started changing. I still got only sick once or twice a year, but now it was no longer May. So I think it probably was an SA thing that, I'd get sick at that particular time. I'm talking about sickness today because my next story involves some type of illness that happened. Especially it's because something that I actually had suffered from a couple of weeks ago, if I remember correctly, where I had a stomach ache. Now the stomach ache is terrible. Everybody knows stomach ache is always terrible because it takes you to the loo quite a couple of times. And when you were a child, the idea of if something is happening in your stomach, of course, you had stomach worms. That was the whole thing that adults would assume. And back for me, at this particular story, that was the assumption. I love food, I think even now I love the idea of making food, making my own food, cooking food, eating. I love eating. I mean, the only problem is it doesn't reflect on my body. It doesn't reflect on my body that I love eating. I'm not sure how much I love eating now compared to how I used to love it back then. But I love eating and trying out foods that are, foods that are good to eat. If it doesn't look delicious, probably doesn't taste delicious, I probably will not try it. No, that's how I rate my stuff. But yeah, I mean, on this next story that I want to share, I mean, if you're eating, put the food away. Do not be listening to this while eating food. It will be a terrible thing to do. Yeah, so I was young. My grandma had told me that they're gonna buy me stomach worm medicine because I have a problem with eating too much. Like I don't get full. I keep eating. So the problem, of course, according to them, was that I had stomach worms. So they were gonna sort me out. You know what? I don't know why they actually didn't use the other medication and they had to use this specific one, which did this thing that I'm just terribly annoyed at. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you later. Anyway, so I was given this this medication to to use, and then I was given one simple warning in this process. My grandma tells me that I mustn't look at the activity that I'm doing, which going to the loo. I mustn't look at myself when I shit. Now I have a slight problem with that, which is something that I don't know. I think I still do at the age that I'm in, but I've stopped it. I've grown up, especially one half of it. I've stopped doing it, but the other half, my body still adjusts to the idea. But I have this. Oh my gosh! But I have this thing of going to the loo and that I have to undress when I'm at the loo. This is why I always favor using my own loo rather than someone else's loo. Because when I go to the loo, I like I like being naked, I like being undressed with everything. when I'm in the loo. To just, feel free to let everything get released out, and my body is also not constrained with anything. There it is. And I am sure I am not the only one in the world who's like this, but I can accept that I'm a strange human for doing that. But yes, so when I was a kid, this thing was at a high level, that I would undress everything when I'm going to the shitter. And the second worst thing is I would actually stand on top of a seat with my legs on the seat. But this is when I was a kid. I'm an adult now, so I don't really do that. That's just, it seems weird. But as a kid, it was good to release that way. It felt like the whole thing would just come out, better. Problem is, I had been warned. I had been specifically told not to look at my ass when I'm shitting. I didn't know why, but I am a child. Because I am a child, of course I'll be curious, and I will definitely want to look at what's going on right there. I went to the toilet. Our toilet was fine. It was one of those outside toilets, but it was during the day. I was there in the toilet, took my clothes off. At least I was respectful. I was respectful. I would take my clothes off, fold it, and then just put it in the corner, so I can get to do my business like a gentleman. I get there, I get on top of the seat, and I do my business. Now, of course, I don't just go in, and I look. No, I do this thing, and I am looking forward. Here's what happened. Here's the problem that happened at that time. I'm doing this, first shitter goes through, but then I think on the second one, I hear or I feel something. I don't even know why I remember these things, but I feel something slapping my bum cheeks. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I feel it again. It's slapping. Guys, I can't believe I'm remembering. It was a nightmare. In that moment, it was such a nightmare. But of course, I'm thinking about it now, and I'm putting myself out of my own body. And it's the most hilarious thing ever. But I feel something slapping my bum, and I look. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Here's what I thought at that time. There's a white snake coming out of my bum. Oh, fuck. I screamed. Push the door open, and I start running up, calling my granny. Go. I'm running, and my grandma comes out panicking. Everybody comes out of the house panicking. Hi, Bogwanzagan. And they see me. with the stomach worm, iskelemu, swinging in my ass as I'm running. And the problem is now I'm not running towards them. I'm just running around because this thing is following me and it's hanging in my bum. And I'm trying to shake it off. I'm running, I'm screaming. So now here are people chasing me, trying to catch me so they can actually help me. And I'm screaming and I'm falling. And this thing is still hanging in my ass. I'm running, I'm crying. Until I think it was an old guy that catches me. And then my family comes and then they use a tissue and they pull this thing out. Oh. Oh my gosh. So they pulled the stomach worm out of my ass. And problem is my stomach is killing me. My stomach is killing me. I still need to shit. And I've just had the worst experience ever of knowing that these things are gonna come out of my stomach alive, which I don't know why they did that. Because I mean, there was medication where I think the medication grinds the stomach worms and they all come out dead and looking like feces. But apparently they wanted me to suffer. So now there's a problem. I still need to go to the loo and I still need to shit. And now I know that there are gonna be things coming out of my ass and I don't want to shit. I'm crying like no, I can't. I think I think I went back to the toilet and there was like 2 or 3 people in the toilet with me as they were watching me take a load off. So they were watching me. And of course, me being used to my thing, as I'm getting into the toilet, I try to put my legs on the seat and then I was like, hey, wait, I can't log onto the toilet, you know. So they made me sit on the seat so I can't see shit. And I'm there with 2 hands pushing me so I don't, even if I feel something, I don't stand up and run away. So they are there pushing me. It was the most uncomfortable shit ever. But it was a needed shit. And I'm there just doing my thing and I could feel this thing slapping my bum, but I'm trying to move my butt cheeks so it doesn't, because it was the weirdest feeling ever. But yeah, I think that was the one time after I learned a couple of things that cause stomach worms, like I don't know, dirty things. I stopped doing that. I never wanted to experience that shit again, and I stopped asking for more food from my grandma, fearing that if I eat more food again like I was, they would assume that I have stomach worms and they would want to make me drink the medication again. So yeah, that's me and a story of stomach worms. Thank you for thank you for listening to my shitty story. I hope you can be here to listen to me again in the future. I do have a lot of things that have happened to me in the past, and I'm willing to share them here with you. Please do share some of your stories too. I can't wait to hear what you have to tell me about how you grew up. I appreciate and love that you are here with me.